it.
I'm hitting the button. Greetings,
Go
beautiful
for it.
beings. I hope you all are drinking water and taking care of yourself. And I hope that you know that the world is so much lighter and brighter because each of you are in it. My name is Fatima Mann. I am the co-birther of Loving Healing Work. And today you are tuned into Rooted in Us. And I am with my lovely, amazing co-host and friend, Jeremy Teel. Say hey to the people.
Hi there, me, Jeremy Teel here.
So you all know that before we begin, I always like to start with some sort of grounding or meditation. And today, I just want you, if it feels good for you, just take a couple of breaths and think about what does prosperity mean to you? What is your prosperous life look like? Just inhale and exhale, thinking about how you can live in prosperity and how you think, act, and engage with yourself. And just notice what comes up when you think about prosperity. And if it doesn't align with you gaining this prosperous life that you're dreaming, put it to the side. But with each breath, inhale and exhale gratitude for knowing that you're living your prosperous life, whatever that looks like. And I invite you to pause and just take a moment to have gratitude for yourself, for all that you are, all that you are becoming, and all that you have been. Because you are so amazing. And the world is so much lighter because you choose to be your authentic self every day. And I just invite you to inhale and exhale that gratitude for you and everything that you are and everything that you choose to be because you're amazing. Yeah, and then let's get into it because I have questions. But before I have questions, Jeremy, how are you? And what does your prosperous life look like? Like, what does prosperity mean to you? And what does your prosperous life look like?
Jesus. Well, ciao. Let's just say the briefing for this meeting, I was slaughtered. So I'm still coming back from that. I'm joking. My prosperous life, my prosperous life, it really is kind of the life that I'm living right now. It's remembering that any and everything is possible as long as I prioritize what I really, really want and keep going forward and stop making excuses. Like that's what prosperity feels like to me. It feels like work that is rooted in what you want. And I mean, as achievable as your imagination can make it. I don't really know what else prosperity can look like. You don't really know you're doing it. I don't think you know you've done it until you've done it. Like you can't I don't know how to explain that. That's the best way to say that. That's what it looks like to me. And I'm doing okay today. I'm doing just fine.
Thank you, man.
What about
Okay,
you?
so I've been doing these. Okay, so I had kind of like a moment where I just was really frustrated, and I was last week because like I had spent $90 in ride shares just getting around. It was $90. And I cried because I've been living in Mexico and $90 gets me a week of groceries, someone to wash and fold and dry my clothes. I can get to the beach and back multiple times and actually 2 weeks of groceries. 2 weeks. And I can get the house clean. All for $90, right? And I come here and I can only get 3 rides. And it just I just am over this idea of my value being connected to dollar amount because I'm amazing. Um, and then so I was so frustrated that I started doing this meditation on money. And I've been doing this meditation on money for 10 days now. And it's been really cool because I've been thinking about what prosperity means to me. Like, what's my number? What's my prosperous number? Not what my life looks like, because I have a really amazing life. But what is the number in my bank account that I need to have to then have the other parts of my life that I want? Going back to school, getting my bar license, and so prosperity to me is just having the abundance and overflow of money that will allow me to do the things that I want to do without figuring out where the money's going to come from. Like it's just I have it, I can do it. There you go. That's what the financial prosperity looks for me. Outside of the financial abundance, I'm so good. Like, I'm so loved and cared for and supported. And to me, that's the biggest flex. It's like I'm so wealthy with love, and people who love me without judgment and unconditionally. So yeah, I've been swimming in the gratitude of that form of prosperity, staying with friends, getting hugs. It's been really, really cool. So yeah, that's how I'm doing, and that's how I see prosperity.
I love it. You better get it. Okay.
Well, I've worked to find the balance in things. Like things really suck, and also I have everything I need. Things really like people really suck, and also I have really great people that don't in my life that suck. So how do I?
Yeah. A lady last night, on a YouTube show that I watch pretty often, essentially said, I can't let people get on my nerves because I have to be the one getting on my own nerves. Like I don't have enough room for their nerves and my nerves. Like it has to all be mine. I don't have the capacity for everybody else's BS. And it's just like, it's not that people don't piss me off. They piss me off all the time. I just can't process it unless they're there. Like, so this idea of there are some humans on this planet that suck is true, but I don't know that many of them. Like I know the three that are pissing me off this week, and I don't have to talk to them. F them people. You know, it's like that makes a lot of sense. I mean, she's also like 65 and has lived enough life to be there. I'm not that mature yet. I'm still pissed off for all of us.
Yeah,
I am
I'm with
currently
her.
pissed off for all of us.
I don't have it, friend. Like I have this. I have only so much energy to do things, and where am I going to put that energy? And if the energy is outside of where I've already designated it, it's I don't care. Like it's I don't. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to talk about it because I didn't designate energy for that today. And it could be tomorrow, maybe next week. But today, I've only budgeted this amount of energy for that, and that's usually how I get down. I am not working on anything else in that capacity because I'm not going to burn out for anybody. And also, yeah, I'm not burning out for anybody. It's really about me. I'm good.
Oh no, we're not going crash out for people. Absolutely, as the children would say, crash out. We're not doing that. Oh, absolutely not. But I will tell my husband unsolicitedly about situations he has no clue about, and he will listen to me and go, "That's fucked up," and it will be done. That is, I will complain. I will complain. Okay, what is the name of the song? I won't complain. I will complain, and then I'm gonna go about my day. Okay, like listen. I know that song has the context of that song is completely different. Whatever. It was the only black reference I could think of at the time.
But I'm the same way though. So like I have people shout out to Brandon that I absolutely complain to. And she gets tired of me complaining sometimes, but like I gotta get it out. Like I need this it's not gonna harp my over my day. But if someone is getting on my ever loving nerve, I need to be able to express that they're getting on my ever loving nerve. And then I'm over it. Like I don't need to harp on it. I don't need to like, drag it through. We don't have to keep talking about it. But I just need a moment that you didn't ask me for, but you consented to because you're in this relationship with me. We're friends,
You're
and
standing
because
there.
so, hey, Brand,
Better get to moving
uh,
around.
don't be here when I'm trying to process some things. So yeah,
Friend.
I get it, I get it. So yeah, I think that's why we're friends. So before we get into what we're going to talk to you about, because we're going to talk about some things, I would like to um, of course, always brag on my friend Jeremy. Jeremy has uh, all of these skills and all of these talents and all this wisdom and knowledge, and I just love him. So I would love for you to tell the world what you are working on right now and how they can support you and find you and all those things. So that we're talking about this first because it goes into what we're going to talk about later.
Got it. As you can see, I put creative genius because I really don't know what else to call myself. And it's not a flex. It's just a fact. I just am really good at a whole bunch of stuff. And what I'm working on currently, I am trying to decide if I'm actually going to exhibit my new series of photography works and poetry and prompts and prose is what they're called. I didn't realize that until I did some more researching. Um, I'm not sure if I'm going to exhibit it. I feel like I want to make a short film and do a book and just release it to the world and be done with it. Like maybe have like dinner with like maybe 10 or 15 people that I like and like celebrate, yay, we did it. But I don't know if I want to open up the studio and do catering and put things on walls. I don't really care to do that. I don't think I do. So that's that. I'm in that. That's what we're going to do. That is right now called Unburden, exploring the power of rest that Black men need. And what else am I working on? Well, technically, I'm working on getting a marketing degree, but I mean, capitalism, you got to keep up, I guess. So I'm not super proud of it. I can't say that I am, but I am happy to be able to afford it. And I don't feel so stupid. So that I don't. I feel like I can actually do this. So I'm very happy about that. What else am I working on? Work wise, I'm just looking for more work, and that can be anything from floral decor to strategic planning for, I don't know, businesses. Like it is a wild CV. My resume is everywhere and nowhere at the same time, which is why I call myself a creative genius. Because I literally go from stakeholder engagement meetings to a bride wanting me to do her bridal brunch. And that is my day. Then it goes right to a lawyer's headshot. And after that, I have a philanthropy meeting with old white men. Like it is everywhere. So if you know somebody that wants to pay a tiny Black man to do things, holler at me. I'll tell you if I can do those things or not. Because there are some things I cannot do. And how do you find me? At Jeremy A. Teel everywhere.
Thank you. I haven't really seen what you can't do yet. I mean, I know there's things that you don't know, yes, but I haven't seen
Yes.
something that you can't do yet. I'm sure that there's a thing, but I haven't seen it. Over the years, I just haven't seen it.
Fair.
It's like
Fair.
I know it's a thing. I just haven't witnessed it yet. Uh, so thank you for sharing, Jeremy. I Okay. So for me, I just released my first ebook. It's called "Doing Great Work Without Harm." Cultural mindfulness. So, loving healing work has different practices that I have adapted and also created. One is called cultural mindfulness, and then the other two is being healing and human centered. And I have learned that these practices help us do great work without harm. So, I wrote a 30 plus page. It's not too long. It's like I think it's less than 30 pages. Yeah, it's less than 30 pages, but it just talks about the foundations of love and healing work practices. So, what does it mean to be in consent with yourself and engage in a consensual relationship with you? The difference between discomfort and harm, I've recognized that a lot of people do not know the difference. Like, they are out here saying that they are harmed. It's like, no, you're just uncomfortable. And so, really getting people to think about that. And I have some reflection questions in there, some affirmations as well, but just really breaking down the first three things that we do, we being me, and loving healing work to get people to do work without harm. So being in consent, knowing the difference between discomfort and harm, and then what is artificial construct. So most of us subscribe to these labels, but these labels are really limiting and they do not really allow us to embrace our full authentic self. So what does it look like to be in consensual relationship with our artificial constructs in a way that doesn't cause harm? So that's what I help people do.
And that's the 30 pages. Thank you so much for reading the ebook. Jesus Christ.
Right? You know, so I've just released that, and then I I have been working on how to leverage white privilege, which is a training that I've been doing since 2020. So I rolled it out because I was actively tired of marching. Breonna Taylor was killed, and I was really confused because it's like the world with the everybody was up in arms um, when the man was killed, and I forget his name because my brain was so stuck on Breonna Taylor. But there was a black man that was killed around the same time, and it was just the world was on lockdown, and everybody marched for this man who was killed by the police. And he was engaged in illegal activities. I'm not saying he meant to die. He had to die because of it. I'm just saying that he was engaging in criminal activities when the police killed him, right?
Yeah.
Breonna Taylor was in her bedroom. She was asleep in her bed. And nobody marched for her in the same way that they marched for this man, this black man. And I was confused because I'm like, what? Like we're not burning down things. We're not marching. We're not saying this woman's name and she died in her home, in her bed. Like it blew my mind. So I am a really heavy meditator. And the thing that came to me was how to leverage white privilege. Like people that have this artificial construct of whiteness, they have this thing called white privilege that is literally taking them away from their humanity. When one has to subscribe to whiteness, then it takes them out of the human experience, and one can't see my humanity if they can't see their own. So, how to leverage white privilege became a training in which I aid people with white bodies to identify their white privilege and do great work without causing themselves or others harm. So, how do you transform systems utilizing white privilege? And so that's a training that I have. The introduction session is on June 10th, and then we roll it out July 1st. And it's really cool because I've seen a lot of people that identify as white be able to create spaces for specifically Black women and that aren't harmful. And I know that because more Black women are going to these businesses and utilizing these businesses, which is why I work with them. It's like my thing is I want Black women to be able to go places and not be harmed, because if Black women can go, anybody can go. And from these trainings, white bodied people are creating spaces where Black women feel comfortable to be there. So I feel like I'm doing my job. So yeah, it works. I know it works. It's a really great healing experience. So if you know any white people or people that present as white or white presenting and they're working on their privilege and how to utilize it, send them my way. And if they're just causing harm and you want them to do better, send them my way. If you think that white body people are not doing their best in leadership positions, send them my way. If they are causing you or others harm, send them my way, because I'm here for it. I'm here to aid in people with white privilege not causing themselves or others harm, because duh, hurt people. So how do we stop? How do we mitigate people harming themselves so that then they will stop harming us?
Agreed. And this is why you're my friend, because you think about all these wonderful things in so much, not just context, but in so much depth and layer. And you also give people an outcome. Like, this is the reason I'm saying this. notice the notice people that are listening. She started off with the why. It was like, why the fuck would a person even want to go through something like this? It was like, because I was confused. So if you are also confused, do the damn training. You might learn something. And even if you don't necessarily learn something, you might get a perspective that will help you learn something later. It might not be new information to you, which I've been learning that a lot of people aren't stupid. Like, they are also not unaware. They just don't know what they're aware of. So it's that idea of, no, you're just uncomfortable. That nothing has happened to you, but it's kind of happening to you. You just don't know what to call it. So you have to do things like this. You have to go through, we call them trainings, but you could call it, Fatima calls them experiences. And honestly, you just got to get in a room with people who know what the hell they're talking about. Listen to them, ask questions, be vulnerable. Yes, it costs a few dollars, but goddamn, I mean, 3 rides in a lift cost $90 fucking dollars, bitch. Give me $50. Like, what is happening here? You know what I mean? So that's great, but that's good to know. That's good to know. And that is just probably like a chapter and a half of the 30 pages. Let's just say it's like a dense book. Okay. This book should be 300 pages, but she's just like, I'm gonna give you an overview, give you a synopsis of my brain. Sorry, I just went
Yeah.
on a rant there.
No, thank you, because it is a synopsis of my brain, but like the idea is that you want to talk to me now that you've had a synopsis of my brain. Like now that you've gotten like a foundation, like, oh, so I want to learn more. And I'm gonna write more books because I really want to write an ebook on how to leverage my privilege. I think that's gonna be the next one. Because I really want people to to honor that, like, it's a thing that you can use. Like, it's not just, oh, yeah, someone made it up, but someone made it up, and now it's a key that can open so many doors if it is if one can just recognize their own humanity and disassociate from these labels, because that's the harmful part. It's like, you want to be these labels, and the labels keep me from seeing that you grieving too, or you are experiencing heartbreak too, or like life is life, and money is not going as far as it used to for everyone. That's just not one particular part. Like, most of us are figuring out where we reallocating funds and all of these things, but these aren't realities that we want to have conversations about. And so we try to make it seem like it doesn't impact us, but then we come into work and or a group, and how we're talking and engaging, it definitely impacts us, because it's like, do you need a nap, a snack, like what, a hug, like what do you need? And it's really sometimes just space to talk, but people don't have that space. So I give people space to recognize that they need space to be human. It's like, oh, I have to be human, and I actually need space to do that. Yes, here it is.
Yeah, it feels very, what is I kumbaya to for me, but it is necessary. It is really necessary. It's incredibly uncomfortable for those of us who don't particularly care for sharing, especially in large groups. But if you don't share with somebody, you're gonna share it with the wrong body, or it's gonna come out in the wrong way, and you got to practice this shit, y'all. Like, that's just the best way to say it. You got to go practice having feelings. It is, although we got them, we just don't always know what the fuck to do with them. So go practice with your feelings with Fatima. It's like $1.50. Okay, so go do it and check back in with us next time. Shit, that's the promo. Go do it and check back in with us later.
I love you. Okay, so you want to talk to people about what you felt when I mentioned what I wanted to discuss with you today?
Yes, actually, I do. My exact quote was "Drag me, friend, drag me, please," and you'll see why later. I get a text message that lets me know that we're going to be talking about something that is 12 books worth of information, and I'm likely not going to be talking a lot. But this idea of uh, doing harm and oh yeah, doing harm and harm being done to you, and while harm being done to you is you harming others. It's like, this is another one of those topics I don't understand. But then she starts to explain it, and I was like, well, shit, I think that's me. So, all right, great. I guess I'm gonna be vulnerable on the internet yet again. Maybe that should be my screen name, vulnerable on the internet. I'm always getting drug on the internet. Like, I read something and I'm like, damn, that's me too. Like, am I a sociopath also? I'm not. I'm
He's
not a
not.
sociopath. I'm not a sociopath. I'm incredibly self-absorbed, but I am not a sociopath. No, no, no. I do like myself a lot. A lot. So that's that. That's what I felt. What did you feel texting it to me, you evil twin?
Okay, so I felt like it was a conversation that needed to be had, because okay, so what we're going to talk to you about today is self-harm, but like from the space of how many of us are harming ourselves and we're unconscious of it, and some of us are conscious of it. But then through harming ourselves, we also harm other people, because hurt people hurt people. So what does it mean to hurt ourselves while we are saying that we are helping others, right? And what does that look like? And a lot of us also cause ourselves harm as a form of disassociating from our current reality. So it's like, I'm going to put myself in a harmful situation where I'll be really, really, really busy, so I don't have to think about or engage with the emotions. But it's causing myself harm, because I'm not honoring that I have feelings about it. There's things that are causing me a visceral response, but I won't deal with that. I'll go do something that then now I have to go back and spend more energy reflecting on and thinking about. And it's just like all of this harm, this one harm caused me to keep harming myself and others instead of getting off the wheel. So wanting to have this conversation about what does it look like to get off the wheel of self-harm and reflect on how are we harming ourselves, and unconsciously, because we live in a society that says we're supposed to. Like everything in our society says, don't like yourself, beat yourself up, you're not valued unless fill in the blank. And most of the time, to be what society says is acceptable, it means that we are putting ourselves out in some capacity. We are burning out. We aren't listening to our emotions. We aren't listening to what we need. So when someone is telling us that we've caused them harm or we're not listening to them, we can't receive it because we don't give it to ourselves. So I wanna talk more about that.
Yeah, it feels just like it feels honestly like oh shit, what is it called? It's something analysis. It's a something analysis. It's like when you try and figure out what you do have on hand to achieve a task. I think it's a SWOT analysis.
Mm.
What is it? What is it? Specific. What is the W?
I thought it was
Attainable
strength.
and timely. What is the W?
I thought it was weakness.
Witness. Weakness. Yes.
Weakness.
Strength, weakness. No. Oh, that's SWOT. I'm thinking about
That's what
something
you
else
said.
then. I did say SWAT. I'm thinking about something else. Whatever. Another one of those like corporate bullshits to help people just go around the problem and not finally
Yeah.
figure it out. But this is kind of what it sounds like. It's like what tools do you have? How are you using them? And now let's go back to the problem, because you had to name the problem first. What is the issue? I'm not understanding why people are doing this to me. Okay, well, what are you doing? Okay, where is that coming from? What do you call it? Because it sounds like you doing it to you and the but you're only calling it out when someone finally retaliates and won't take your shit. Douche. That's what it feels like. I forget what the analysis is. It's gonna drive me crazy. I'll think about it later. But yes, I'm excited. But I can't start this conversation. You have to, because I don't know what the fuck.
Okay, so I'll start the conversation with this is the time of year where I reflect on self-harm because it's my anniversary of no longer being a cutter on June 15th. So I'm now in the stage of I've been doing practices that isn't harmful more than I was. So I was cutting for 10 years and I haven't cut for 13. So I'm in this the other side, but not cutting was a form of harm that although I put down, I did not put down the desire of wanting to harm myself when shit gets hard. So I've had to recognize where I still cause myself harm even 13 years later, right? So it's like, in the beginning of my journey, sometimes I would put myself in situations that I really knew that wasn't going to serve me, or the energy of the people really didn't align with what I wanted. But being in that space would take me out of my head around whatever was happening. It would allow me to disassociate, and in that disassociation, though, I was causing myself and others harm because I'm in a space that I really know I don't want to be in. I'm in a space that I know that after I leave that space, I'm gonna have to do some emotional, mental work, maybe some physical work, maybe some. I'm gonna have to now detox or fast because I was eating something or drinking something or whatever it was. But now I have to put out more energy because I put myself in a harmful situation. They're just sitting my ass down, right? Like I've had to learn to sit down and do nothing because sometimes nothing is the only thing I can do because everything else is probably going to harm me because that's where my brain is. That's where I unconsciously want to be. I want to be in something that's self soothing. And most of the things that are self soothing really aren't good for me. They just soothe me right now. And if I engage in that, then now I'm going to have to do something else because I engage in something that's like, oh, and if I talk to people because I'm hurting, I'm not talking with you with the same love and compassion and care. I'm talking to you with a really icy kind of way and no patience. And I don't really have a lot of grace for you because I don't have grace for myself right now. I'm hurting, right? So what does it look like to acknowledge that we are experiencing some sort of pain. And instead of trying to fix it or put a band aid on it, we allow ourselves to experience it, but in a way that isn't harmful. So, one of my examples is I love food, but a lot of food harms me. So, I've had to learn that if I'm going to eat food that might be harmful, what's the best version of it? So if I love French fries. Now, French fries isn't really harmful, but it isn't really good for you either. Like the French fries, they have really no nutritional value. They're comfort food. I'm not going to McDonald's to get French fries. I'm going to get me some hand cut fries from some local vendor that's going to support a local business owner, that's going to support another local business owner, and it's going to be better than the McDonald's fries. Now,
Yeah.
I didn't give up fries. And I didn't give up fries when I feel some type of way. Actually, when I'm PMSing or if I'm in my feelings, I'm having fries or a bag of chips that only have 5 ingredients in it. But all of those things are harmful in a way that like I know they're not the best for me, but they're not the worst version of those things. Because I feel like a lot of people are like, well, I can't just give things away. And sometimes when I get emotional, then all these things. I'm like, I'm not saying that we're not gonna give into our human experiences. I'm saying that we don't have to harm ourselves and others when we do.
I think that's fair. I mean, that's good. Okay, I'll tell you the word isn't received. Maybe received from that is you are allowed to have a shitty moment. Like something can happen to you and be like, damn, that was shitty. But that's what you're supposed to say. Not, oh my God, it's happened. I now have to go have 12 shots of tequila. Like, no, you don't actually. What you need to do is back up two paces and figure out what the fuck just happened. Because maybe someone did hurt your feelings, or maybe someone did make you a little uncomfortable. But what was the conversation about? Were we having a really good conversation about boundaries and I don't know how we're going to talk to each other from here on out, and they said the wrong thing and now you don't want to talk about it anymore? And no, you got to continue that conversation, because that's what's going to not make you want to go do something harmful to yourself. Then you'll get drunk and fucked up, and next thing you know, you're talking like a crazy person, and you call 20 people, and it's just like, girl, just finish what you started. Maybe that's what I'm really receiving. Like, finish what's being started, but understand what it is. So, example for me, I have a myriad of clients, and they are from completely incompetent, think like 12th grader doing an executive job, to incredibly competent, but think executive level mind, doesn't know how to tie their shoes. Like, I'm telling you, they are in the middle. They are at the top. It is both extremes. And I am constantly frustrated with these people. Like, I do mean constantly frustrated with these people. But it doesn't take me to a place. Well, now it doesn't take me to a place where I want to end every meeting, go have a drink, figure out something to fuss about in the house. Like, I don't want to create a space of stupidity just because someone is stupid. What I do is I let them know, you're being irrational right now. And that's not the job that I do for y'all. I'm here to make peace and order. That people hire me to make order. I make beautiful things. That is my literal gift. And you want some bullshit. So I'm gonna just have to let you go. And I'll talk to you next week at our regularly scheduled time. See how I didn't do harm to myself, but I also didn't do harm to them. I not just left it in their court, but I'm giving them the tools. Go figure it out. And when I see you next week at our regular time, I do hope that you figured it out, boo, because we go be right back here. I'm not doing this shit with you. Because it is a perpetuation of harm, discomfort. I mean, not harm. It's a perpetuation of discomfort, first of all. And now that I'm uncomfortable, I have to now go and do inner work to figure out what is the best course of action for me, when both of us could have had that conversation beforehand. We could have came, we could have done our work, and we could have left in a peaceful, wonderful moment. But no, you want to be an idiot. So now I gotta go. I gotta go sit down and have a moment. I gotta go eat a French fry, or the best version of a French fry, in order to not then go fuck with my husband and piss him off, right? Like, you did this to me, but I have the control. I'm in the control seat. I don't know if any of that made sense, and y'all, I'm just rambling. That is how I process. I ramble, which a lot of people do. And Yeah, that's what I received from it, Fatima. Am I anywhere near what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because it really goes back again, like if you were experiencing harm and then you would go back and then do something to harm husband, and husband doesn't deserve that. Husband didn't even wasn't even in the room when it happened, right? So it's to me, it's thinking about from a personal perspective, how many times have we harmed ourselves and then projected that harm on someone else, and then we're mad too because then that person is reflecting that we've harmed them. And it's like, but I didn't do anything. It's like, yeah, you did. And why did you? Right. And then so everybody has a reason. Well, my dog died, or I lost my job, or, what's going on in the world is really stressful because fill in the blank. Like there's always a reason to feel harmed. But the thing about our human experience is, as you said, we get to choose because we're in the driver's seat. I get to choose how I respond to people and how I respond to my emotions. Like people get on my nerves all the time,
Every
all the time.
single hour, every single day.
Like, but I get to choose if I'm gonna cuss you out or if I'm just gonna wish you well and drink water and take care of yourself because I don't have to. And we don't have to. And but when we get so bogged down with our emotions, we'll put ourselves in situations where we know our body's like, no, don't do it. No, don't do it. Our heart's like, that's not going to work for me. Everything is saying no, but we'll do it anyway because we want this 30 to 45 minutes of solace or this 4 hour moment. And it's but what are ways that you could have that solace and not harm yourself? What does that look like? And for me, it's like, okay, well, I'll go hiking sometimes. Or hell, I'll just binge watch a show because I don't want to think about nothing. I don't want to think about how you piss me off. I don't want to think about how I'm gonna respond to you pissing me off. I don't want to think about it. So I just binge watch a show. And then until my brain is like, okay, we can come back into the world. But me binge watching this show keeps me from cussing you out. It keeps me from like scrolling through my phone and thinking about all the times that I didn't say anything to you when you came out of pocket, and you've come out of pocket, and I've had it. I've had it. Now you could have
You got to have it.
it.
You got to have it because you don't like. I want to just make very clear that what you're saying isn't always. You should always be the bigger person because at one point you really do have to give people what they given you. Like so at one point you just have to be like, okay, you think I'm a kumbaya kind of bitch 24/7? Absolutely not. What we not gonna do is disrespect people. What we not gonna do is argue with people. We're not coming out of pocket with people, right? So time number two, do no harm. Don't mean you can't say what you need to say to get it back on track because that's a part of the healing process. It's like, all right, let me get you to where the fuck I'm at because it seems like me giving you the grace isn't. You need grace plus. You need a subscription. You need the. You need me to give you the ebook now because you can't just. You wasn't raised right. Let's be very real. So I want to make that very clear. We're not saying let folks do whatever they want to you, and then you go back and work on yourself, and hopefully they'll work on themselves. Fuck that. Sometimes you got to cuss a bitch out, and that's just the truth. But that shouldn't always be your first course of action. And also, you don't always have to cuss people out. Sometimes just let the person know that they have come out of pocket, that they have done this, that, and the third. And last time we had this conversation, I had to go do this in order to get myself right. And I really wish and I hope we don't have to do this ever again because it is incredibly frustrating to me. I don't think you have harmed me, right? I'm not in any danger yet, right? But I will be after this conversation if you do it again. And now I have to think to myself, am I riding out at sunset or am I just never going to talk to you again? Because riding out at sunset is always an option. My Kia Rio stay gassed up. And it's a Kia Rio. Don't nobody ever see one of them coming. I'm just letting you know. They're everywhere. Tell me the last time you saw a Kia Rio. There are tens of thousands of them. You ain't ever seen one, have you? You're welcome. Booyah. Sorry, I just had to interject that because it felt appropriate.
No, it's true because me as example, right? I don't wear shoes. I've been talking about love and healing, and people have stamped the label of healer on me. And I'm always interested that that's what you call me, because I've been in these streets yelling and screaming at police officers. Like, people know me from advocacy usually, not the healing part. But because I started to do the healing, people want to put me in that box, and then they also think that I'm not exactly who I say that I am, and don't try me. Like, so there's this thing where I've even had to learn that I was causing myself harm by allowing people to just see me as the healer and not speaking out when I'm engaged, because I didn't want to not be seen as the healer, right? I didn't want to go out of the definition of what it means to be a healer. But then I remembered that love is all things, the good, what we may call good and bad and ugly. If there's love is a spectrum of all things, just like Mother Nature. Mother Nature will come in and wipe everything out, right? Everything. So if we're embodiments of all of these things, then why wouldn't I um, be willing to say the things that need to be said in a way that isn't harming myself, but also stops harmful behavior? Because I'm not going to let you just do anything to me or say anything to me just because you put me in this box. But I don't have to harm myself by doing it. Like, I sleep really well at night when I tell people, no, you're not going to talk to me that way, because you're not going to talk to me that way. I don't have to say anything else besides, I don't have to cuss you out. I can just stop you and say, so I don't people don't talk to me like that. So I'm done listening until you can talk to me in a way that makes sense for me. And that's me making sure that I'm not harming myself by listening to you talk crazy. Because if me listening to you come out of your mouth and say all these disrespectful things, now I'm harming myself, because I'm not telling you how I treat myself. I don't talk to me like that. I don't think those thoughts about me. So why would I allow anybody else to do that?
And
Because
where
I
the
love
fuck
me
did you
so
get
much.
it from? Like, this is what I don't understand. It's like, where are people getting it from? And I understand it's coming from a place of self-harm. That is what we're talking about. Where the hell do you get your anger from? So much so that you can come to me, an almost stranger, right? Like, I'm not related to you normally. I'm generally forced to work with you because we're either on a contract together or we're in maybe the same book club or some bullshit. I don't know, right? But it's very optional. Most of our interactions are very optional. So you choose to be pissed off at something else or yourself. And as soon as I say something that has, I guess that was it. You had it. The best fried chicken actually comes from churches and not KFC. And now you want to yell and scream at me. Whoa, what? Whoa, bitch. Like, I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to. But I need you to go and do some self-reflection, because I will cuss you the fuck out. Okay? We just go. We're going to have to pause this conversation right now. Where is it coming from? That's the reflection part. Go ask yourself where it's coming from. Reach out to me later, baby, because you got me fucked up. I want to give you an example real quick of how I have used this technique. I didn't realize I was using this technique, but I did. Last week, a person I worked with essentially gave me the example that I saw earlier, like a 12-year-old running a company. And I, I'm trying not to be specific, because if I'm specific, I might be in breach of contract. So how can I say this? They tasked me with something, and I needed a piece from them. I needed authorization, if you will. And when I asked for that authorization, this person asks me, "What do you need the authorization for?" Well, I need it for the thing that we're doing. I gotta press the button, but I don't have the button. You have to press the button because it's your shit. Well, why are we doing that? We're getting into the harm place, by the way. This is this is when I'm ready to throw everything. Um, I went back to the top of the conversation. The contract itself. This is what our goal was. This is what we're trying to achieve. This is why you hired me. I need you to do this thing so we can have it done. But I thought we were doing this, is what he said to me. I'm gonna pause you. I'm gonna just stop you right there. And this is where the work really began. I don't know what to say to you. I'm gonna just have to talk to you later, because I am so frustrated at this point. And the frustration really isn't him. I'm pissed off about other stuff. And it is being fueled by his incompetence. Actually, I always knew he was incompetent. I know that. And being incompetent or being ignorant isn't a bad thing. Sometimes you just don't know. But purposefully, or like, how do I say, just because you know you stupid, don't mean I need to deal with it. Right? So instead of going there, I just stopped the conversation. So I can't do this. I'm in a moment. I'm having a moment. I'm gonna go have myself a cup of coffee. I'm gonna go cuddle on the couch with my husband for 20 minutes. And I'm gonna come back to this project and see how I did that. See how I didn't like take everything out on that man. Because I could have. I could have gave it to him. And he'd have called me the next day like nothing happened. But it wasn't for him. It was for me. I can't sit in rage all day. It's not helpful to anybody for me to just be pissed off at everybody all day. Did Lionel get an earful? Absolutely. Lionel knows what's going on in so many organizations right now. Lionel could whistle blow for so many things, but he honestly doesn't have any context to what the fuck I'm talking about. He just knows that his husband's upset. And so thank goodness for listening ears, like we talked about earlier. And also thank goodness for this sort of, I mean, having Fatima as a friend is really helpful, but having these sorts of people in your life that'll remind you, it's probably not about that, friend. Go figure out what it is. What it really is I have like $2,000 left on my credit card, and I'm really pissed off and haven't figured out how I'm going to pay that because I really wanted that to be at zero this month. But this man not knowing how to do his own fucking job has just reminded me of that. And now I feel incompetent. That's what actually happened. Like, that is what actually happened. I'm pissed off at something else. And him just displaying stupidity took me to another level of upset with myself. And that's just unnecessary. Go sit down. Go have a seat. Come back to it later. I told his boss. The boss talked to him about it. And you'll never guess who pressed the button. The button got pressed. Thank the Lord, baby Jesus. So all that to say, y'all, this shit works. It works. It's not kumbaya. It's very intentional. It feels weird because you really want to get to a solution. I understand that. But sometimes you just have to take 2 or 3 days to figure out what the hell you were upset about. Thanks for letting me get that out. That was my TED Talk.
Oh, I loved it. And thank you for sharing because it's true. Like our lives are reflections of us. And a lot of times we don't want to take that responsibility. We've been conditioned to say things are happening to us and like they did this to me. But it's like, yeah, that happened, but you picked up that hammer and slashed him in the head. Like, hold on. Like, you can't, like, it's not the same, friend. Like, you can't just be like, well, he made me mad, so I could just, no, it's why. Like, why did that push your buttons? What's happening for you? Where is that triggering something in your subconscious that you didn't know was there until the situation that you may need to work on? All of those things are valid. All of those things are important. But if we aren't doing that work, then we're going to always harm people. Always. When I am not mindful, when I'm blaming other people, when I'm making about what you did, then I'm putting myself in a situation to harm myself and someone else because I keep on making it about that other person. But the other person has nothing to do with my response. The other person has nothing to do with how I choose to self-reflect and figure out, how did I get here? Do I like it here? Do I want to stay here? Is this where I want to be? And here being emotionally, mentally, physically, do I like it here? And most times we don't like it when we are harming ourselves and other people are harming us. We don't like it there. So how do I keep myself from being in a place I don't like? I figure out, how do I stay in the places that I do? And that is not harming myself. I love the space of not harming myself, because when I harm myself, I really do harm other people. I don't have patience. I don't have grace. I don't have care. I don't have compassion. I don't give a fuck what you're going through. I don't care who died. I don't care how they died. I just don't care because I'm not caring for myself. So why would I care about you? I mean, for real. Like,
friend, I will say, I just want to put this out there that I don't think you're asking people to get this all overnight, right? Like, even if you just get to the place where you recognize it's not them, it could be you, then you're on a better path than you were before, right? So what I don't think you're saying is listen to this conversation, read the ebook, it's all fixed. Absolutely not. That's not what you're saying. Because people can and will try you, and you likely will do some harm, and harm will be done in return, right? Like it is just how it works. We have our moments. What I think you're asking people to do is make it a conscious effort to practice. And honestly, I really do say practice makes perfect. I wouldn't say perfect. I think it makes you competent, but that is a whole nother conversation. Uh, if you practice enough, you'll learn the triggers, you'll learn the warnings, you'll hear words differently. Um, right now, mine is my biggest trigger word is overqualified. I what? What do you mean overqualified? You mean to have too many skills to do this thing? Oh, you done pissed me the fuck off. That the work is done. I don't want to fucking do no work now. I'm cussing everybody out, right? I have to know that it's a practice thing. It is a practice thing. So I just want to put that in there for the people who are listening. You don't have to get this all in one
He's not lying because you won't get it all in one day. It's not. It is a literal practice. Like there's no way you're gonna get it in a day. There's not. I mean, yeah, there's no way because if we've been practicing a behavior for 20 plus, 30 plus years, and then now you're engaging in a new behavior, it's not something that you're just all of a sudden gonna get. It's a everyday practice. Even for me, I'm still noticing in where am I allowing myself to be in harmful situations because I'm accustomed to it. Some of us grew up really with really fucked up, childhoods. And so we could be in fucked up situations and that be normal and that feel normal, that feel good to us because that's all we knew. But when we start being in situations where people are asking us questions and wanting to get our consent and not cussing us out and making us feel small or engaging us and not making us, uh, not triggering the abandonment issues, we have no idea what to do with it. And so to practice the difference, the opposite of, it's a practice. And a lot of us, unfortunately, know harm as love. And we are in environments that say, I love you and harm you. I mean, look at our school systems, look at our education system, look at our healing systems. Like most of these systems are supposed to help us be better and they harm us in some ways, usually, mostly, and depending what you look like all the time. So then saying if we're accustomed to being in harmful situations, then sometimes we perpetuate those situations or we create them because we need to be in a familiar situation or scenario that feels good. And sometimes being in harmful situations feel good because that's what we know. So I'm inviting really us to think about like it's by design. None of us are special in this way. None of us are special in being taught that harm is okay. And it's a choice to practice the opposite and knowing that we're not always going to get it right. Like sometimes I cause harm, I do. And I hate it. Goodness, I hate it. I hate causing harm because then it's like you got to go on an apology tour and you have to like shift your behaviors. And it's just
day. Yeah, you do.
way more work. Way more work. So I always ask people, help me, help you, help me. Tell me what you need for me not to harm you because then I won't harm myself. See how that works? Because I don't want to harm me. I don't want to have to go through all the things that happen when I cause harm. So knowing how I can mitigate harming you helps me. And a lot of us don't even know how we harm ourselves. So we can't tell someone, hey, this is what causes me harm. Please don't use the word overqualified because I may want to slice you. Like I may slice you.
I'm gonna slide you. It's gonna get slide. You gonna get slid, and I do mean that. But you're right. There's maybe a few more parts of this work that people aren't understanding, and also if you get the book, maybe you'll get it understanding more. But there's a huge portion of this. Actually, I think it's an all portion of this that you got to go and talk to yourself. Like even if you got to write it down, sometimes writing it down helps. I talk to myself. That's how I retain information. Oddly enough, I'm an out loud reader because if I don't hear it in my own voice, then I don't retain it. Sometimes you just have to tell yourself, like, what is that? Like, what the fuck just happened? Why am I so perturbed by this conversation? Um, so words like overqualified, yeah, but also I don't know. I don't particularly care for people who identify in one singular space, right? So if I notice that a person wants to be friendly with me and they only identify as, let's just say, gay, right? It's like you don't have no other markers. It's just all gay. I don't think we can be friends. I might have too many dimensions. I'm gonna have a conversation with you later. You're gonna say something stupid. It's gonna piss me the fuck off, and now I don't want to talk to you no more. So how about this? How about we just don't try and be friends? How about I am nice to you when I see you, and otherwise I don't think about your bitch ass. That is not doing harm. It's the that is it, people. Because I can guarantee you they're gonna say something in about a year. It's gonna piss me the fuck off. And now I'm in that ass, and not in a good way. I don't know who's
Well,
listening to our podcast, so hopefully that wasn't too far.
who cares? If they're listening, then they already know that we don't know what too far is.
Yeah,
So
fair.
like if they're listening, they know. We don't know what that is. So what I am hearing is that self learning how to not self-harm is a self-reflective practice. And it's a practice that one has to be willing to take time, well, energy to engage in. And if we notice that we are in a space to cause harm, to sit the fuck down, like, and be quiet
Have a seat.
and just put yourself in a corner because sometimes you have to do that. And not a little corner, but like, your corner could be in your house, in your room without people, or maybe you are around people, but you're just quiet and you're not doing anything. But just practicing, why am I asking oneself, like, why do I feel this way? Like, what's the main reason of what's going on? And giving yourself the grace to do that, and knowing that there's no wrong answer and you're not a terrible person, and you deserve the care and the compassion of living a life without harm. Everyone does. So why not start with you?
Yeah, why not start with you? That cuckoo crazy to think that you would start with somebody the fuck else. Fuck these people. Like no shade, but for real. Like fuck these people. It's a you thing. This is a you life. If you could figure out a way to if you could figure out a way to uh, honor others, be graceful to others, but like really fuck with you really can't. There's nothing that can harm you, really, because you're doing the work. You got it. You're getting it done. I love the idea of that. That really, oh, to attain that level of awesome. I'll get there one day when I'm like 100. Well,
No,
I won't be 100 because I am not going to be 100, but whatever. That's
that
another
is
conversation. That's another argument that you want to watch Fatima and I have about how long I want to live. Oh, it gets her going. It's funny.
because I just don't want to live a life. At least I want at least 75 years on this earth with him, and he fight to me on it. That's why it's an argument, but it is an argument. Okay, so thank you all for listening and joining us, and really, we hope that you gain some wisdoms and some practices, and remembering that you're not alone, and there's things that we can work on and talk about, and it doesn't have to be a secret. We don't have to make it something that we just don't put in the open. We can have real conversations and laugh and joke and share and learn new ways of being that will bring us closer together as humans, and love and healing, and just really, for real, just honoring you, and honoring you from the best place that isn't harmful is always the goal here. So thank you for being here. Jeremy, where can they find you? Are you doing anything this week where people can tap in? Like, is there something we should know about?
I mean, yeah, but they're not paying me enough to promote that for them. I will say though, I have of course, Unburdened will be coming up soon enough. I think we might make Black Canvas into an ebook or some sort. I've been inspired by you and several other friends to just put together the work that I already have and the knowledge I already have into books and pamphlets and things like that, and share it with the world because why not? So yeah, I think that's on the way. But Jeremy A. Teel on Instagram. My website is still under construction, so sorry. Just send me an email. It's very easy. It's just my first name, Jeremy, at jeremyateel.com. And that's it. Oh, if you know anybody that's hiring for other fun stuff, please call me. Call me, text me, message me on the end. I don't give a shit. Just send them my way. I'll take care of it. What about you,
We
Fatima?
will. He's amazing. He's absolutely just incredible. So he's not lying, and I'm not lying on him. He's just one of my favorite
Creative
people.
genius.
And it's true. It's really true. So for me again, I am guiding. Wait, so yeah, I'm guiding a couple of things. So the practice of sacred selfishness is a workshop that Brandis and I are doing through Be More Raw. How do you practice being more selfish in a way that isn't harmful? What does it look like to honor what you need while still engaging in groups with other people? So that's on May 30th. Then we have the How to Leverage White Privilege. So again, if you are a person that identifies as white, or white presenting, or you know anyone who identifies as white or white presenting, it's how do you leverage your white privilege to transform harmful systems? And it's really an opportunity to unpack whiteness as an artificial construct and learn ways of healing and seeing oneself in self-reflection. And I have an ebook now. So please go to Love and Healing Work on Linktree, Love and Healing Work on everything, and you can find all the links I'm talking about. But I would hope that you would join for one and or all of the experiences. Oh, and also we have a grief circle. So I do a monthly grief circle. So that would be on the 29th at 6:30 Central Standard Time. But it's just an opportunity for us to honor our grief as humans and really connect, because most of us are grieving, have been grieving, and really don't know how to process the grief. And we don't really talk about grief. So we're going to talk about it. So you can join me. And also I offer one-on-ones. So if you just want to connect and see how you can learn how to reflect deeper and wider and brighter with yourself, you can holler at me. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Love.
Peace out.